Alrighty, welcome down to another league race in D5 in DTR. We are down at San Marino for the Imola Grand Prix as we just get everything set up here with the telemetry and see what tyres people on. Everyone are on softs at the moment, and we'll get out there with some drivers who are currently on track. So the first car out, I believe, is this of Wardy in the Williams. Tricky circuit today. Only one real overtaking section on the track down the home straight, but I think we are going to see quite a few moves in other places. People try to get creative in game places during the race. It's going to do a quick audio check. Yeah, that's all good. That is all good. So here we go with Ward as he's just coming to the end of his outlap at the moment, getting ready to start this hot lap. Tricky track, got some really big sausage curbs on some of these corners which you desperately want to stay away. I believe Wardy struggled for a pace this season a little bit, but looking for a good result today for the Williams as he approaches turns 2 and 3. Runs a little wide there. He's on the grass and that's his lap gone already. So we are going to jump to the Alpine of Pepsi Lover Pappy. Also on the drivers towards the back end of the grid. Hopefully he's managed to get some laps in this week, gaining a bit more time. Is he? No. Also he's invalidated, so he's backed out as well. A little bit of traffic there. So we've got DMX. He's coming through on his hot lap. He's not invalidated yet as he comes through sector 2. Oh, it runs wide a little bit. Had to lift off, losing a little bit of time there. It's a tricky track. The invalidations will be quite high today, and there'll be a lot of penalties with people running wide, exceeding the track limits. It's not so much corner gripping with this track because obviously you want to stay away from those sausage curves, but running wide just a little bit will penalise you. As Benny Buno is looking to get some laps in on the medium tyres. So we've got a pole time at the moment of 1:17. We've seen a mistake there in sector 2, so that will be beaten. Wardy's decided to go again. Let's see if he can improve this time round. As he comes through turns 2 and 3, hits the curbs and invalidates immediately. So he's going to be coming in for a fresh set of tyres. And hopefully he can have a bit more luck on his second stint. So our newest driver, HQ IBO, he's currently P2 on a 118. What the hell is that doing? Right. So he's P2 on a 118. So I think a lot of people are just invalidating and not getting the time in at the moment. Composite up to P2, 117.4. I think we should be looking at 116s for pole, maybe 116.5, maybe even below that, to be honest. D-Max should be low 16s, I think, at least. Find out who's on a hot lap at the moment, who's approaching the line. We've got a Alfa Romeo of Guna who's approaching the line, and he goes P4 with a 120.7 as we head down. So we've got Bogorovsky, he's coming through sector 3 at the moment, yet to set a lap and not invalidated, so that puts Bog into P4, 117.6, 17.7. So a few are just crossing the line at the moment. So we've got Felix Pirate, he has put it on P1 at the moment with a 16.6. Great time from him. One of the drivers who does have a bit of pace, as he wants to get up there with Benny Bruno and DMX 50. As we have a look through the grid, Skipper, I think Skipper maybe just starting a hot lap as he comes through turns 2 and 3. Avoids the sausage curb nicely, avoids the apex of that curb as well. So we are expecting an action-packed race here, a narrow track, as we've seen in real life with multiple incidents as well, as there isn't much room at all for overtakes, and the DRS straight will be the place to do it. As Skipper comes through sector 2 here, not invalidated, clean lap so far. As he approaches the chicane, need to cut these a little bit, not too much, avoid those sausage curbs and get a nice clean exit from there as he heads down towards the last few corners here as he comes into 17 and 18. On the exit of 18, you do not want to run wide here, you can easily get invalidated. Skipper goes pole, 1:16.5. Great time from him there. Oh, as he cuts across the pit exit line there, it looked really close to the Haas leaving the pits. As we look around the track, we have got a Alfa Romeo coming through sector 3, I think. Is Gunnar? Gunnar sticks it on pole, so that's a 16.2. So I think we're definitely going to get into the 15s today as the track evolves throughout the session. DMX, he's on another hot lap. No, he's not. He's pitting. So DMX pits, coming in for fresh tyres there. As we cycle through the grid, so take a look at HQ. He's on out lap at the moment, currently P8, 2 seconds off the pace. As he comes through the chicane, heading down to the final few corners to start his hot lap. So we'll stick with HQ. We'll see how much he can improve on his time. We have both McLarens looking to set times as they are approaching the line and beginning a hot lap. So after HQ we will jump on board with the McLaren. So runs wide there but doesn't get an invalidation through sector 1. HQ currently 6 tenths up on his previous time, really beginning to hook this lap together this time. So we've got no judge, no problem on pole at the moment with a 16.1. The Alpine just pulling to the side there to let the Haas driver through. Hello to the viewers out there. We've got ends in the chat. Let's go, boys. Bog for the win tonight. Yeah, could do with Bog would love a good result here. Chatting to him earlier, doing a bit of practice, wasn't really enjoying the track. He doesn't seem to like this very much, so we'll have to see how he can do. As HQ he improves. He's gone to P10 as we take a look at the McLarens. Also, Mr. Long's out at the moment. Not sure what happened there as Benny Bruno pits and still yet to set a lap time. So running through the grid, we've got no judge, no problem here. He's on pole with a 1:16.1. Gunnar's in the pits as well, just behind him by 1/10. Felix, he comes into the pits as well, currently occupying P3 with Skipper just behind him. Wardy just on track at the moment, but he's down currently in sector 2. Composite currently P6 there with his 16.9, and DMAX is on a hot lap, I think. So we'll stick with they'll stick with DMX as he comes through turns 2 and 3 and 4, and looking to get his usual pole position place back off No Judge No Problem. His teammate, who's showing plenty of pace here today, as DMX goes purple sector 1. Guys in the chat, let me know who you think is going to stick it on pole and who's going to win the race, and what else you expect from the race. We are expecting a bit of carnage. It is a tricky track. Oh, DMX just loses it there in sector 3 through the chicane. These sausage curbs are absolutely lethal. You do have to cut those corners to get a good time, but they can be punishing at the same time if you do get that wrong. So D-Max is unable to improve there. As we have a look around the grid, as we have Benny Buno on an outlap, so we'll stick with him yet to set a time, just trying to get some heat into those tyres as he makes his way around to start his hot lap. As I'm going to take a look at the current standings in D5, see where we are at. Okay, so just looking at the driver standings at the moment, we've got on the constructors, we've got AlphaTauri leading the way there on 76 points, with 15 points ahead of the Alfa Romeo, as Benny Buno has invalidated his lap. Grobert is going through sector 3 at the moment, still all clean, yet to set a time, so we'll stay with Grobert as he comes towards turn 17. Keep it, he runs a little wide, not invalidated, lost a little bit of time there, but he's going to set a time nonetheless. So let's see where this puts him, and he goes P6. Great time from him. We've got Florian on pole with a 1:15.4. Absolutely brilliant time from him. That's going to take some beating, it would seem. Having a look who's on track. So Composite is down 2 temps at the moment. Pepsi Lover's down on his time as well. As Florian comes back into the bit, so Felix the Pirate currently in P2 there with a 15.8, just 4 tenths off the time of Florian, as Gunnar and Reliot get out of the way. Maybe a little bit of toe action down the straight, but this could punish them for the rest of the lap. Skipper invalidates. He's looking really quick today, got some good pace. Just looking at the driver standings, so we've got DMX at the moment, currently first in the championship with 68 points. Benny Buno behind him, just 23 points behind on 45, with G Infamous on 43. So that's your main battle at the front, with the 2 Alfa Romeos just behind those. As the championship really begins to hot up now after 4 races. So we having a look who is on a hot lap at the moment. So we've got HQ Ebo. He's just coming through the final corners of the lap to see if he can improve from his P13. He lifts for some reason, I'm not sure why, but no improvement from him. Benny Buno still not set a lap time yet on his out lap. We'll jump on board with him shortly as we try to find someone who is on a hot lap at the moment. As we saw, Skipper had invalidated. Wardy is way down on his time. Composite, currently P8 here. He's coming through sector 2. Let's see if he can improve or not. Gets a solid exit through there. Down 2 tenths for Composite. I think he's going to struggle to make that up in the final few corners of sector 3. Bogorovsky, he's improving big time. He's up 7 tenths at the moment. Coming through sector 2. A little bit of short shifting there as he nice and smooth, just making sure he's already invalidated his lap. Apologies, didn't realise that. As DMX up on his time just by 0.03 of a second. I think he's saving his tyres for this lap. Benny Bruno coming through sector 3. Where will this put him? Really needs to get this time in as he goes P2. He'll be really happy with that after having a tricky qualifying session with the invalidations. Sticks it on P2, front row of the grid, putting a little bit of pressure on DMX there, down in P11. Doesn't seem to have the pace as the guys do at the front, and Florian he's on pole on mediums, which will set him up amazingly for the race. Guna P2 115.7, pushing Benny Buno to the second row of the grid. Felix the Pirate's up there with them. He's in P4. No judge, he's down on his time. He's not going to improve as he pulls over for the Red Bull and the Alpine driver of Grobari. So, we've got an incident here with Bogorovsky and Benny Buno. Could be a report going in there after the race. We'll have to see. That's 3 retirements in qualifying now. As we go around with Grobari here in the Williams, just behind the Red Bull. Not invalidated his lap. Nice and clean. Can he improve his time from P8? He does, to P7, pushing Skipper down to P8. Florian 15.4, which will get him pole position for this race. And that is our qualifying complete. Great time there from Florian. Guna up there as well. 3 tenths off the pace, but gets P2 done. What is that? Sorry about that. I had a weird voicemail just started playing, but how on earth does that happen? You know what? So we got Wazza in the chat. He's cheering on Bog at the moment. So we've got D-Max to win. Get them elbows out. He'll certainly have to do that in this race, as he's not on his usual pole position. Enz is predicting Waz is predicting an Enz win tomorrow for some reason. But let me just get my track map back up, and so here we go. So Florian is on pole position. Great time from him, with Gunnar just behind in the Alfa Romeo. Benny Bruno, P3 for the McLaren driver. The leading AlphaTauri driver of No Judge, No Problem in P4. Man Like Donkey gets both Red Bulls up into the top 5 there, with Grobari for the Williams in P6. Skipper P7 with Wardy just behind him. Great qualifying from Wardy there. Felix the Pirate down there in P9, and Composite just behind him. Bogorowski had a little incident there with Benny Bruno. Not sure what happened with that, but he's down there in P11. Free choice of tyres. He's gone for the soft tyre, so we need to get all the information up on here. We will put tyres as we have DMX in P12 with Reliot in P13 just behind him. So HQ Ebo, our newest driver, currently in P14 with Pepsi Lover, Pappy and Mr. Long making the rest of the grid. So 16 drivers, 3 drivers on mediums, Pepsi Lover, Reliot and DMX going for the alternate strategy. Got Enz claiming that I'm going to win tomorrow. I absolutely doubt it. I mean, if I get no penalties and everyone else gets penalties and there's a late safety car, maybe my luck will be in, but I'm not going to win it on pace. Let's face it. So predicted pit stop strategy for the softs is lap 11 or lap 9. So try and get a good view of this. Here we go. So with Gunnar, that's 5 lights out and away we go. So Benny Bruno looking to get in the mix in P3, running alongside Gunnar. Oh, Florian's lost out there, lost 2 places. Looks like he's back up there on the inside. Benny Bruno goes off. He's not out of the race, lost his front wings, needs to get back on the track as safely as possible. And we've got the yellow flags in sector 1 there. So, oh, Florian's out. This could be a safety car. Debris all over the track. VSC. It's a crazy first lap. When the cars try to get 3 abreast on this track, it's gonna become carnage. So our pole sitter, Florian, the first victim of the race, DNF on lap 1. He will be absolutely gutted with that. Had great pace in qualifying, 3 tenths faster than the rest. And now Gunnar leads the pack under this VSC. No Judge, No Problem just behind him, and Skipper has gained 4 places there to get into the top 3. Benny Bruno is the biggest loser there in track position, who's still running. Losing his front wing there after a little bit of contact. I think it may have been with Gunnar. Gunnar thinks about pitting, or just tries to keep his delta down. No Judge has pitted. So No Judge, did he have damage with his front wing? He did. Lost his front left end plate, switching the softs for the mediums. Benny Bruno has to pit as well. The McLarens are double stacked this time, both at the back of the pack now. Heading back up the front, whilst we're still under this VSC, which has just gone green. Gunnar's got a great lead there of nearly 3 seconds. as Man Like Donkey is now promoted to P3 with those first lap incidents. So Hugo Bricks, he's in the chat at the moment, he's saying he's a fan. Ex-Steve Verstappen is the best, but he's not in this league. It's great start from Guna. 3 seconds in the lead at the moment, and we've not even had DRS yet, so Man Like Donkey hunting down Skipper as we come down with Composite, who's just behind HQ, who's had an amazing start there, gained 8 places from all that carnage as they come down to begin lap 3. So Composite gaining on HQ here. This HQ weaves a little bit to defend. So we've got Wardy just behind Composite and Bogarowski just behind this pack as well. So this is the pack where it's all bunched up at the moment. D-Max is looking to gain ground just behind the Alpine of Pepsi Lover as we ride on board with Bogarowski. Having a look at Wardy, and he's got Composite in his sights as well. Doing good at the moment. Been P9. Getting 2 places into the points. Looking to keep it clean, nice and sensible race, and try and make the most of other people's misfortunes. Just as we say that, really, it gets a 3-time penalty, and we're going to see a lot of those today, I believe. Got Guna in P1 at the moment, stretching his lead bit by bit as Guna sets the fastest lap. Sector 3 we have a yellow, and that's a Red Bull of Man Like Donkey. So completely lost his front wing, must have caught the curb there on the exit of 18 and lost the back end there and gone into the wall. So this race has gone really bad for the Red Bulls. They had a great qualifying and just had a terrible start to the race as the AlphaTauris are both down in 13th and 11th. They are top in the Constructors' Championship at the moment, and this league has been blown wide open with what is happening here at the moment. So you got some big guys at the back here. Benny Buno and D-Max looking to gain some ground and catch up to the main pack. They're a long way behind as we head up there to the front. Groberi having a great race here in P4, gaining 2 places just behind Felix Apira, who's also having a great race himself as well, avoiding all that danger. HQ up to 5th. Didn't have the strongest qualifying, but he's having a solid race so far. Big shout out to Skipper there from Ends yet. Having a great race as HQ needs to let this one go. As Composite goes down the inside and... oh! Right, yeah. I think there might be a report going in there as Composite drives into Bogarowski after the collision with HQ. As HQ, I think, should have let that place go. Luckily for Bog, doesn't appear to have any damage that we can see. Seems to be getting very unlucky in qualifying and the race with collisions like this. So the pack has spread out quite a bit as after several incidents. We've got a yellow flag in sector 1. We have D-Max. D-Max is out. And we have a full-blown safety car. Wow. So D-Max, our championship leader on 68 points, has retired from the race. His nearest rival, Benny Buno, down in P13 on 45 points. 18 points behind D-Max depending on what happens after the safety car here, Benny Bruno could really gain some points here today. He needs to keep it clean, keep it sensible. So G Infamous, the teammate of Bogorovsky, he cannot race today. He is P3 in the championship at the moment. He'll be gutted he cannot race today, as Felix Sapira is in 7th in the championship. He's currently in P6. So yeah, AlphaTauri, top of the Constructors' Championship from Alfa Romeo, and then to Ferrari and the McLarens, both on 55 points, as a few of the drivers begin to get some penalties, as man like Donkey has a 5-second penalty. So we'll go with the leader behind the safety car area, Grobari, having an absolute solid race. Williams driver looking to get some good points. He is currently 15th in the championship with only 1 point. So, a podium finish here today would be brilliant for him, for the Williams driver. His teammate? No, it's not his teammate. It's the Alpine of Pepsi lover Papi. Also, he's not got any points on the board at the moment. Our Irish driver he will be looking for his first points here. So the grid is, really mixed up this race. It's really spicing up the championship, and Division 5 is always exciting, never fails to entertain as people begin to choose to pit. So Grobari has chosen to pit. He is now on those soft tyres, as we flick over 2 tyres and see what people are on. So so we've got Pap Silver and Reliot in P1 and P2 who've chosen not to pit, as Gunnar pits and he's on the fresh softs here, looking in a great position strategy wise for him. Skipper and Felix, they've both chosen the hard tyre. They want to go to the end. No more pit stops for them, I believe, if they can make the tyres last. Just behind is No Judge. He had to pit on lap 2, I think it was, so lap 2 or 3, as he gets back up there into P6, and that's worked out nicely for him after a tricky start. HQ, little collision there with Composite, caused a little bit of chaos in P7, as the safety car is coming in this lap. So we will stick with Reliot for this one, as we see what kind of start Pepsi lover Papi can get. So there's a bit of a gap at the moment. Gunnar is leaving quite a big gap as he closes up, and we will see what kind of start Reliot can get here, the Alfa Romeo driver. Gunnar looks like he's gaining on him a little bit. Whether or not he'll let him through, which he does, I think it's a little bit of team tactics there from the Alfa Romeos, as the Mercedes of Skipper has a little look there. No issues there, 3 turns 2 and 3, which is good to see as we head back up towards the front. Gunnar is in P2, catching Pepsi lover Pap, and Reliot, his teammate, is doing a good job there on the mediums of creating a little bit of a buffer there from Gunnar and the rest of the pack, as we jump on board with Felix, who is on his fresh tyres, taking a look at Reliot there in P3 on those old mediums, trying to get them back up to temperature. Getting the hard tyres up to temperature is difficult. You do need to give it a lap or so before you begin to push 100%, as it begins to build a little bit of a gap there to Skipper. We've got a Red Bull of Man Like Donkey who's had a moment there through the chicane of 14 and 15 and is now at the back of the pack. So Pepsi Lover Pap has decided to pit, and Guna is the new race leader as the Alfa Romeos are beginning to dominate this race after the safety car restart, and Ralliot working well with his teammate there to let him go. Felix on those fresh hards, looking to get into the mix by getting past the Alfa Romeo driver as he takes a look but thinks better of it. Currently got 5 drivers with penalties at the moment as we go down the grid, and Benny Buno there after a tricky start to the race, and he is on those 6-lap old mediums. A little sloppy there through the chicane as he's right on the back of no judge of the Alpha Tauri. Wardy having a good race so far, just behind Benny Buno, and Bogarovsky keen to get past Wardy here. Same age tyres, same age medium tyres, with Guna setting the fastest lap of a 1:18.3, with Wardy losing the back end a little bit on the exit of 18 down this home straight as he looks to make a move on Benny Buno, but just doesn't have enough pace down there as Bogarovsky comes right up behind with Grosberry behind him. Coming through sector 1, we've got a nice little train forming here from Skipper to Benny all the way down to Grosberry, with Composite just 1.5 seconds behind. So a man like Donkey's got a penalty of 3 seconds down there in P11, as Bogarovsky's just looking to be patient here in P7, doesn't want to ruin his race with anything reckless. Got Wazza in the chat wishing he had a new teammate. We can sort that out for him. That can be organised with immediate effect, and I'd be more than happy to do so. So getting back at it, so we've got Bogarovsky here, still behind Wardy. He was showing some good pace today. He's not had the best season so far, Wardy, but he's having a really good race. As Bogarovsky has got Grosberry right behind. He's in a Williams sandwich at the moment, looking to get past Wardy with Grosberry right behind him, looking for an overtake also. So I think Grosberry caused Bogarovsky to lose a bit of time there as he had to defend as they approach sector 2. Coming through coming through turn 7 here. So heading up towards the front, we'll have a look with Guna, currently 7.5 seconds ahead from his teammate, who has the Mercedes right behind him. Skipper's been patient there on the hard tyres. Up there in P3, Benny Buno closing in, looking to get as many points as he can, with DMX being out of the race, which is absolutely huge for the championship standings in D5 as we stand. So Bogarovsky still patiently waiting, taking a look at Wardy, waiting for Wardy to make a mistake, as Bogarovsky's got 30% battery and DRS, as I think he's saving his battery for now, trying to rebuild it up a little bit, as Benny Buno and Skipper both get past Ralliot down the home straight, as Ralliot begins to drop off the pace quite a bit on the old mediums, 11 lap old. Skipper gets a 3-time second penalty, feeling the pressure of Benny Buno just behind. So you got Wazza in the chat watching this race with a close eye, trying to decide his strategy. We was talking earlier about tyres and he doesn't know what to do, but we know he's going to crash anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So back on board with Benny Bruno as he comes through the chicane, taking it nice and easy. Doesn't want a penalty. Skipper's got a penalty already, as we've got 4 drivers with a 3-second penalties, and Man Like Donkey is having an absolute nightmare there with 8 seconds so far. So Skipper heading down the home straight here. Benny Bruno's got the DRS. Can he get close enough to Skipper? Only got 25% battery at the moment, as he just doesn't get close enough. But yeah, this is a great race from Skipper, who begins to harvest that energy there during sector 1 after defending like crazy to Benny. Gonna have a look through the rest of the grid. So we've got Bogorowski, who's got past Reliot. That gets him up to P5, and Groberi is taking a look at Reliot also, who's really beginning to drop down the pack, and Groberi's got composite on the back of him also. Should we jump on board with Reliot looking better? So Groberi's lost it there, just a little eager on the accelerator pedal, loses the back end. Was having a fantastic race as well, as he was just too keen to get past Reliot there in sector 2, and will have to try and come back from that. Maybe another safety car will help him, as Composite is now the next driver to line up Reliot as they go around the final corner, heading down the home straight. He won't have DRS at the moment, and so yeah, no DRS for him, but he is gaining all the while as they come through turn 3. Hopefully Composite has a bit more patience than Groberi there and can get him on the straight next time round. No Judge, he's down there in P12 at the moment, just behind Felix, as he makes the move down the home straight, heading into turn 2 and 3, and gets the job done nicely through there. Used all his battery though, will not be able to defend next time round down the straight. As we take a look at the tyres, and I think the people on the hards are beginning to struggle quite a bit, but Skipper's doing well. Yeah, he's struggling quite a bit, so commentator's curse there, right on cue. As we head towards the head towards the front of the grid, is Guna currently 11 seconds ahead. Absolutely comfortable race for him so far. Sector 2, we've got yellows. Not seeing anything on the track map there. Benny Bruno in P2 on them old mediums, going really well also. Skipper runs a little wide. Can't afford to do that too often here, or he will end up with 6 seconds of penalties as he hits the sausage curbs there. Skipper is going to the end. Benny will have to pit again. Benny will need to get a move on here, try and build a big gap up to Skipper. And Wardy down there in P4, he's currently having the best race of the season so far, as he comes through sector 2, runs a little wide. Sector 1, we have got yellows. Not sure. I saw him retired in the pits. I think No Judge is retired in the pits as... Whoa, he's drifting. Mr. Long has gone for a little bit of a rally across the gravel as he gets back onto the track safely there. Dead last at the moment, P13. Struggling this race is Mr. Long in the McLaren, who are up there in the Constructors' Championship. I think currently P3 in the standings, so he could do with a safety car to get back in this race, as he's quite a long way off. So we'll head up with Skipper who is within DRS range of Benny Bruno at the moment, the leading McLaren driver. But as we said, Benny does need to pit again, as Man Like Donkey gets another penalty. 3 seconds, putting him up to 11 seconds of penalties, and the drivers are doing good. I mean, not everyone's got a penalty, and it's so easy to do on this track, and you know, you've got seven or eight drivers showing really good discipline there, not corner cutting and not running wide. So up front we have our leader Gunnar, comfortably ahead in the lead, 11 seconds. Doesn't need to push too hard now, just bring it home. Benny needs to pit also. Skipper could be the guy who gets ahead of him when Gunnar does eventually pit. Throwing himself into the mix there. So Bogorovsky, great race from him, no penalties, up there in P5 as the Ferrari driver is beginning to fend off Composite as Mr. Long gets a penalty. Looking at the chat, En's asking me what's my strategy for tomorrow. I don't know. If I qualify P11, I'll start mediums, I think, and if I qualify top 10 on softs, great. But that probably won't happen. So it'll be a medium start for me, I think, and then just see what happens with the safety cars. So this is the closest battle we have at the moment, with Composite hunting down Bogorovsky. Considering he doesn't like the track, he's running really well here. P5 as it stands, as Benny Bruno takes the lead as Gunnar comes into the pits and is leaving on mediums. So Benny still needs to pit on these old mediums, 15 lap old mediums. I'm not sure how much further they will be able to go, so Billy in the chat, his strategy is drive fast, don't spin, and Enz needs to do the same, as Enz does like a spin, and needs a solid race to try and keep up with Wazza tomorrow there in D4. Sector 3 we have yellows, and that's the McLaren of Mr. Long, who is off again. No front wing. Has he missed the pit entry? No, he can pit there as long as he doesn't crash into the wall as he approaches the pit rather cautiously, and currently half a minute behind as his teammate passes him. So Benny Bruno not choosing to pit yet. He's quite comfortable on these medium tyres, 16 laps in. Be interesting to see how these hard tyre runners feel about their tyres in the next 5 or 6 laps, whether it's worth pitting for softs. As Gunnar is back on track, he's currently down in P6 with the majority of people needing to pit ahead of him. Skipper will not need to pit, but does have a penalty. So Composite, he has got past Bogorovsky, which we missed for that P4 position. Yeah, no toes tomorrow. We don't like toes. Toes do not work at Alpine, and I'll never be trying one ever again. So we had an epic fail in Baku with that. Waz's fault, and we're not doing that again. So getting back to the race, we've got there's no real close battles on track. Oh, we've got full on safety car. Mr. Long has retired. I'm not sure where he was pitting the last time we saw. Is rather interesting. So Benny Bruno gets the safety car at a great time for him, gets the free pit stop during his pit window, and Skipper can run to the end on these but will most likely choose to pit for softs, I believe. He should do. Bogarowski up there into P13, so we believe everybody is going to stop apart from Gunnar unless Gunnar wants the soft tyres. And this come at a great time for all these drivers who are on 13 plus laps on their current tyres. So Groberi, he decides to pit, goes for those fresh mediums in P11. So just 12 cars remain on track. As we've had 4 DNFs at the moment, and Benny Bruno is the lead driver there behind the safety car. We're going to take a look at the penalties, and man like Donkey should have got rid of some of his. Yeah, man like Donkey needs to pit, get rid of his 5-second penalty, taking him back down to 6, as we now only have 2 drivers with just 3 seconds of penalties. So we'll see if anyone is going to pit here. I think Benny does decide to pit. Skipper stays out, as the rest of the pack look like they're staying out also. Benny opting for those fresh tyres over track position. We will have around about 10 laps of racing after this safety car. Hang on. Benny Bruno has put intermediate tyres on. I think he should get away with pitting again and changing those, but that will delay the safety car for another lap. This game does have a habit of putting the wrong tyres on for you no matter what you select, so I suspect that is what has happened there. Benny should really slow down and avoid catching the pack, because the safety car will come in this lap. He will be absolutely fuming there on Inters. Yeah, and I think the game's had a glitch and put the wrong tyres on for him. He's probably gone to select softs and somehow ends up with Inters. But if I was Benny, I would have held back and hoped the safety car stays out another lap so I could pit. But that's absolutely wrecked his race. DMX will be watching the live stream and feeling like he's got away with one here. The McLaren driver must be absolutely kicking himself here. Actually, it's beginning to rain. It's beginning to rain, and Benny has gambled for the intermediate tyres. Did Benny Bruno run a wet setup in qualifying maybe? Seeing this on the weather forecast. Groberi's pitting as well as we head up to the front, and Bogarowski is under pressure here from Gunnar. Round the outside, Bogarowski is ahead but doesn't want to tangle with Gunnar. Gunnar has to go deep off the track, avoid spinning. He blocks man like Donkey. He collides with the Alpine. Oh, Gunnar. Has Gunnar come back to the track unsafe? We've got collisions here with the Alpine, with the Mercedes, and the Williams gets ahead. Absolute carnage here. Is the track getting slippy? Is the Inters the right call from Benny Bruno as the Haas goes off? I think the rain is causing absolute carnage at the moment. It's not raining heavily from what we can see. There's our race leader Bogorovsky on the medium tyres there. 15 lap old. He won't have plenty of grip, but if intermediates are the right choice in the next lap or so, this could be genius from Bog. Bog could be on the absolute perfect strategy. There's 3 cars at the moment are on the intermediate tyres. I think Bogorovsky's going to pit. I think he has to pit for the intermediate tyres. He's not going to get any grip from those old mediums. As Bogorovsky stays out and Gunnar decides to pit, that has to be for the intermediate tyres. But Bogorovsky has a huge lead with a yellow flag in sector 3 with HQ off into the gravel. So Bogorovsky, 10-second lead at the moment. Benny Buno has called this absolutely perfect here. Just 9 seconds behind. Got a VSC with HQ retiring just before the pit lane on the exit of turn 18. And as it stands, everybody is on intermediate tyres except Bogorovsky. So this race has flipped completely on its head. We thought Benny Buno had made a mistake pitting for intermediates. It was beginning to rain, and Benny has ran his strategy absolutely perfect. Bogorovsky has a huge lead here. When he pits, he may come out in P2 still, as he comes through sector 3. He must be really struggling now on these old medium tyres. I do think he should have pitted the last lap, but he carefully brings it home. He absolutely pitting this lap. He cannot stay out, as Bogorovsky does pit. So with a bit of luck for him, he'll come out in it may be more like P4, I think, possibly. Or is he gonna? No, he's gonna lose even more places than that. And Benny Buno is in the pits behind. What's going on there? So he's getting a front wing change. Must have caught in a little bit of trouble through there. So Benny's strategy has gone out the window a little bit as all the cars pass the pit straight. As Skipper is the current race leader with a 3-second penalty. 4-second gap to Wardy. Oh, this race is absolutely crazy. 11 runners left. Man like Donkey at the back as he gets past Felix the Pirate, as Felix pits. Another driver who must have damage. So we're going to jump on board with Pepsi Lover, who's just behind Reliant in P3. Bogorovsky down there in P7 after his pit stop. Maybe just pitted one lap too late. It's Bogorovsky and Benny here fighting for this P7 position. Benny gets the traction up the hill, avoids a sausage curb there. That pushes Bogorovsky down to P8. Yellow flag in sector 3 at the chicane as what is it, Wardy? Wardy loses it there after having a great race. It's down into P6. Benny just leaving the chicane there as he begins to hunt him down. No damage for the Williams driver, but would have lost a bit of temperature in those tyres going off track like that, as Benny begins to eye him up to make the move and gets a good exit down this back straight, the home straight, sorry. Like for like on pace at the moment. But Benny's not going to let this go. He's going to want this. And Wardy lets him through. Nice and safe. So, looking at the pack. Bogorovsky down into P9 now with Gunnar getting past him. Skipper still out in front, and now with Relly having the penalties as well, Skipper is our net P1. Pepsi Lover will get P2 as it stands, with Relly having that 3-second penalty. Groberi, only a few laps ago, spinning off, and we thought he may have wrecked his race, but he's up there in P4, hunting down the Alpine of Pepsi Lover. Desperately wants that podium place. Composite's had a solid race. Had a little bit of a tangle with Bogorovsky earlier, but up there in P5 with Benny Buno running wide on the exit of 18. Benny desperate to get a podium in this race, with DMX being DNF'd in this race. Wardy's got some good pace, keeping up with Benny at the moment, as Benny goes over the sausage curb there, catches the sausages through there as well as Composite. Not pushing too hard, doesn't want to make a mistake, and Guna is all over the back of this pack. So we've got a nice little train forming here. No DRS with the rain, as Benny sends it. He sends it in sector 2. Spied his chance and got past Composite up there into P5. Next up for Benny is Groberi, as we've got a yellow flag, which is now green. Skipper having a fantastic race here. Top 3 drivers, all 3-second penalties. Currently 5 seconds in the lead. I think this will be Skipper's first DTR win. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think it may be, as Wardy's under pressure here from Guna in turn 2 and 3. Hits the sausage curb, really affects Guna's exit there. Looking to get this P7 as the train continues in this midfield, as we head up with Composite, or with Benny right on the back of Groberi. Groberi harvesting that energy there. Benny with 50% should be able to get this done. Very brave move there as he goes a little deep, but gets that move done. Next up for Benny is Pepsi Lover Pat. Just needs to get within 5 seconds of him to get that podium place. Five laps left. 5 seconds to gain. Can he do it? As he exits the chicane, heading down towards 16 and 17 there, as Wardy the Williams run of Groberi runs really wide there, allowing Composite to get past, and his teammate is right behind him as well to put on the pressure. Guna will be looking to get involved in this also. This could be carnage. It was all very sensible there, with Bogorovsky with a front row seat of a potential chaotic crash there at turn 1 avoided, as all the drivers get through there nice and safely. So Bogorovsky was P1 under the safety car, stayed on those medium tyres, maybe for a lap, 1 lap too long, as he begins to recover from that. Guna has the 3-second time penalty and will lose P8 to Bogorovsky as it stands, and Groberi is really holding up the pack here with his teammate right behind, looking to get past, but Groberi doesn't, and Guna takes a look down the inside there of the chicane, caught Groberi absolutely napping there. Or was it Wardy? I think it was Wardy actually, sorry. Caught Wardy napping as Bog approaches him as well. So Benny Buno only 5.5 seconds behind now, that podium place. It's looking like he's gonna get that. Man Like Donkey has another penalty there of 9 seconds as Benny Buno comes through sector 1. Pepsi Lover currently P3 right on the back of Reliot. I don't think Reliot's had the best pace today, but he's up there in the mix and he's had a good strategy and kept out of trouble, and that's doing him really well this race as Benny Buno desperately trying to catch that leading pack. Grobari currently P6 now, just behind Composite with Guna chasing behind in the Alfa Romeo. Bogrovsky making a move here before the chicane as he runs deep, cuts across the corner. Bog gets a 3-second time penalty for that move, just couldn't get the grip in the front tyres to slow the car down, but he is past Wardy nonetheless, but needs to build a 3-second gap now to him. Bogrovsky was standing to gain a couple of places here from Grobari and Gruner, and that was, I think, what made him decide to go for this move, to stick with P7 and P6 to gain those spots, but resulting in getting a penalty. But no contact, no damage. He can try to undo the damage of the penalty as much as he can for these next 3 laps, as Pepsi Lover Pap is right on the back of Reliot now, struggling on these intermediate tyres. We're getting a bit of lag there. I thought there was going to be a crash, but as yeah, we're getting some bad lag there. Benny Buno now just 1/2 second behind these guys as they come through sector 2, so Benny will have a couple of laps to try and seal P2 on track. Guna takes a look at Composite into the chicane, thinks better of it, avoids the curbs, looking for a good exit as Composite runs wide, gets a 3-second time penalty. Yellow flag sector 3. I think that is Grobari in the chicane. Had a little moment there, no damage, just spun up the back tyres and lost the back end. So Pepsi Lover Pat currently P3, with Benny Buno taking that from him with regards to the penalties. So sector 3, we've got another yellow. I think it's Grobari with red hot tyres. He's just going to have to pit and change them over, and that is his race done, as it seems. Not going to get any points today, unfortunately. Grobari had a solid race as well. So Benny right on the back of Pepsi Lover Pappy. Doesn't need to try anything too dangerous. He's got P2 sealed at the moment. He's not going to have enough time to get Skipper, so just needs to play this one sensibly, bring it home, and that's P2 for the McLaren driver. So I've got one eye on Bogrovsky at the moment. He's approaching Man Like Donkey for this P8 position, with Man Like Donkey having 9 seconds of penalties there. A difficult race for him. We are on board with our race leader, so Skipper beginning his final lap of the race, leading the race, had a really good strategy from start to finish and avoided all the carnage and getting his rewards. Unfortunate to have a 3-second penalty, but luckily that is not going to lose him the win, as Benny Buno, he knows he just needs to bring this home, and we'll have P2 if he does so. Guna quite a way back there, 7 seconds in P5 with Composite and Wardy. Wardy having a solid race there in P7. As man like Donkey and Bogorovsky are battling out for this P8 position. Felix the Pirate right behind Bogorovsky as well. Can he put any pressure on Bog on this last lap? Maybe force a mistake and gain that place. Skipper just comes through the chicane as he's bringing the car home, heading down to the final few corners here. Just avoid those curbs at all cost, as the Mercedes driver comes out of the final corner and brings the win home for the Mercedes team. And an absolute massive congratulations to Skipper there. He's had a great race. And Skipper comes, and then it's Benny in P2 with Reliot in P3. A great podium for Reliot. Really helped his teammate throughout the race, who is in P5. Pepsi Lover, first points of the season, P4. He'll be so happy with that. And Wardy, great race from him. Also, Composite, showed good pace all race. Just got into one or two situations in the race, putting him into P7. Bogorovsky maybe could have called strategy a little bit better on those medium tyres in the rain, as maybe stayed out one or two laps too long, but points finish for him. He's not a big fan of this track, and so points finish he'll be happy with nonetheless. So man like Donkey's had a really tricky race today. P9 with Felix the Pirate rounding up the points in 10th place, and Groberi in P11. So we have it, driver of the day, Pepsi Lover Pappy, gained a lot of places, kept it clean and got P4, which was brilliant for him, as we see the podium with Skipper taking the win down. Absolutely brilliant to see, and Benny Buno is now equal on points with D-Max, I think. I'm not sure who had the fastest lap, but this really heats up the tile championship for sure. So just running through, Skipper race winner, great race from him, started in P7 on the grid. Reliot and Pepsi Lover, huge gains there from 13th and 15th to finish 3rd and 4th respectively. Gurner P5 with Wardy in P6 for the Williams. Composite and Bogorovsky are with Dutch drivers in P7 and P8. Man like Donkey and Felix the Pirate round up the points, and Groberi brings it home in 11th, with the rest being DNF. So it was a fantastic race. We love watching D5 here at DTR. Always action packed and some great racing as well. As that is it for tonight. So we hope you enjoyed the race. We will be back tomorrow with D2 and D4, I think it is, and I'll be racing in D4 myself. So enjoy your evening, and we will see you tomorrow.